Live on Instagram, and hopefully this works. Hopefully the audio is coming through. We're hoping again to get more information out in regards to where you can see us on various social media pages. So for right now, we're going to try this and see if this has any good effects on here. We're coming to you live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick. For those of you who have not tuned in here before, we come to you each evening, each weekday evening, in regards to what's going on with the weather situation. And right now, again, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. So hopefully we get some good comments on here for everything, and we'll keep you updated as to what's going on. Coming up, we're going to be getting much on the hotter side into the next several days, and we're also going to be seeing the potential of maybe another storm system in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Thanks to our viewer from Chattanooga, Olivia Edwards. Thank you very much for a beautiful view from the top of Signal Mountain looking off toward the Belt of Venus out on the horizon. This is a video view. Right now it's a still store view, so you can't really tell with the motion on here, but if you'd like to see the video that was submitted by Miss Edwards, you can head to our website and find out more details as to what it looks like out there from that video. We get and we also use still store and video presentations as well. So if you have either video or any still store pictures of some great conditions out there, we'd love to see what you are seeing. So let us know what's going on out there. And here's the way that you can do that. You can send the information again via email at pictures@wdef.com. You can drop them to our social media pages with a description, if you would be so kind, and then also at wdef.com/photos. You can send those pictures in. If you want to be anonymous, that's cool. Just please give us a description of some sort in regards to what you saw and or where. That would really help us out a little bit, so please make certain that you include that when you are submitting things. Almanac page for today, we did manage to make our way into the mid-80s, about as close to normal as you can possibly get for this time of the year. Excuse me for a second, just going to readjust the camera for Twitch so everybody can see more about what's going on. I'm cameraman, audio operator, director, everything else here at this time, so sometimes my attention's a bit distracted. We did not get any rainfall today. Obviously nothing going on out there. A record high that hasn't been broken since 1896. We're behind for the month 2 and almost a quarter inches. That's very dry for one of the drier months of the year. And then we're behind for the year. We're closing in on a foot of rainfall less than what we should have for this time of the year, so we could definitely and desperately use a little bit more help in the rainfall department out across much of the area. Let's take a look and see what's going on out there right now, which again does not amount to much. I-24 at I-75 in south central Chattanooga on the Tomahawk crane and rigging camera. This again is our view as to what's going on our EPB fiber optics weathercam network. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look around here, go to our website, wdef.com/weather. Button God, yeah, like you always use some extra directing. Actually, we have kind of a shortage of people on the production staff these days, so I'm sure they would take your application as soon as possible on there. We had some beautiful conditions around the area for this afternoon and this evening. A beautiful sunset, ironically one day after the eclipse happened last night. Chattanooga Theater Center, Coolidge Park, and downtown, beautiful conditions for again right now. And let's see if my downtown camera is working. And it looks like, yes, there we go. A little on the dry side, looking off toward Lookout Mountain and Raccoon Mountain out in the distance. So a beautiful evening showing up here. Temperatures back in the lower 70s at the airport and calm winds at this time, so we do have some very pleasant conditions. It's definitely good convertible weather out there into the rest of the evening, so it's possible we may see the potential of some changes coming up where it comes to rainfall, and that again is going to be a bit of an issue toward next week. But for right now, it's doubtful we're going to be seeing too much of anything out there that's going to help us with rain. You're definitely not going to need the umbrella for the dog walking forecast into very early tomorrow morning. Decently beautiful conditions, a little foggy possible, and also, again, some chances of rain way out in the forecast, but not showing up for now. So, for tomorrow morning, looking pretty good. Excuse me, my loop ended before I wanted it to. It's going to warm up very quickly tomorrow, looking at temperatures heading upwards into the mid-80s. Some very toasty numbers very quickly tomorrow with all that sunshine. Thanks to News 12 viewer Russell Stroud from Ringgold, Georgia, for our pet of the day on the Rough Cuts dog walking forecast. Ozzy does have a tail. You just can't see it because it's moving too fast. So thank you very much for sending in that information there. All right, what do we got coming up into the rest of the evening? Not much per se. We've got, again, the potential for some changes taking place into next week. We do have what's left of potential tropical cyclone number 8. The storm system made its way on shore last week and has basically just been spinning around the southeast United States. It's about ready to wash out in the atmosphere. There's not much left of this system. But as we go into the next couple of days, we are watching very carefully a storm system back over toward portions of the United States-Canadian border way up to our north and west. This system, it would be nice. It's possibility of severe weather along this system, but it also looks like this is going to be aiming up into around Hudson Bay. So little, if anything, really taking place anytime soon with this. The next storm system we're expecting is well back to our west. So possibility of getting some rain late next week, middle to late next week, this time around for Friday Night Football and a lot of other activities. I think we're going to be very dry, but also very much on the warm side. I want to take a quick look at the tropics because as of right now, not much going on where we are. PTC 8, whatever's left over, is stuck there and dwindling. From the National Hurricane Center, we did have a potential of this system redeveloping. This area of leftover clouds and rain and some thunderstorms out there. That was Tropical Storm Gordon a few days ago. Now it's just a disorganized mess. So for right now, the National Hurricane Center seems to think this is going to be making a comeback in the next few days. It does not look to be anything of a problem for the United States. As a matter of fact, it looks more like it is going to be what is known as a fish storm. It's going to be wandering through the central Atlantic and really not that much expected out of this anytime soon. Not even a problem, again, for shipping lanes out there for now, but we'll keep our eyes on that. What we are keeping our eyes on even more is this area in the Western Caribbean, right up into portions of the south central Gulf of Mexico. This area could develop into the course of the next several days. As a matter of fact, this is what we are looking at somewhere, again, the date and time stamp up here, watching this system develop in the southern Caribbean and then making its way up to the north and to the east. Now, let me just replay that because that took an interesting turn. What you're looking at here is just one computer model's opinion. There are a few dozen models out there that we can use to take a look at what is going on. And again, the system really starts to develop here by Tuesday into Wednesday. That's when we're expecting a little bit more intense activity. But this computer model is a little bit different than the ones we saw just a few days ago. As we go farther, this system really starts to show a lot of spin. And let me just move this over a little bit so everybody can see that where that's highlighted there. This is very interesting to take a look at because this system, according to this computer model, is now starting to lean farther to the west. As of right now, the last I checked, this system did not have what is called an area of invest or an area of investigation assigned to it yet, but that is a possibility into the course of the next few days. Some of the models, again, are lining it up to head into the Gulf like this one, but the computer models that we watched for this just a few hours ago had it making a path back toward the south. Others had it heading back toward the north, and anywhere in that general area is where this storm could go. So by Wednesday, Thursday of next week, it is possible that we could see something out there, but the farther ahead we get in time, the more fuzzy things are forecast-wise, and I think that is an actual meteorological term. So for right now, this system could develop. It's a possibility. It doesn't look entirely likely, and the computer models are just basically all over the place here. So we don't have a good agreement as to which direction this storm develops and moves in the next several days. So anything could change here. I would say the entire Gulf of Mexico at this time is going to be in play for this possible system. So from Brownsville to the Keys, this is going to be something to really watch, especially if you have a beach vacation next week. A lot of late summer vacations going on. Next week we'll be going into autumn, and we're still at the peak of the season. So this is where we continue to look for the possibility of maybe some development taking place here in Chattanooga and the Tennessee River Valley. If this decides to kind of hang a little bit more of a right turn, we might see something more off of this as we get toward, again, the middle to end portion of next week. But for right now, it's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of conditional phrases in this forecast where this system is concerned, because there's just so many variables at this point in time. It's a good possibility that, again, if we get something, you're going to need to watch what goes on, because if you're planning anything in the way of a beach trip here, this is something you really need to watch out for, because if you're heading toward the Gulf and we get a major hurricane, which is possible, we need to, again, watch for that, because you don't want to be heading into an area where a storm is heading toward that particular area of beach. So now is the time to be weather aware. Now is the time to pay attention to what may be happening across the entire Gulf to see what may be heading our general direction. And again, that's something to really, really pay attention to, especially at this time of the year when you're traveling. Island Cove Marina and Resort, looking out toward the area of Lake Chickamauga. We've got a few clouds out there. Apologies to the arachnophobes. I should have warned you. Sylvester the spider hanging out on the screen, blocking out some clouds and some of the starshine out there. Definitely a way to get your daily meetings picked up a little bit. Do your presentation while talking like a pirate. Thursday is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, so you should be able to get some R's and some cores and blimeys thrown in there at some point in time. So check that out. Temperatures again tomorrow in the mid to upper 80s, going above normal and staying above normal for the foreseeable future. Next best chance of rain way over on this side of the forecast. Tuesday, a minimal chance in the afternoon and evening, and another semi-minimal chance as we go toward Wednesday, and that's about as good as it gets. Whether or not this is part of what that last tropical system does, we'll really have to wait and see about that. Final day of summer is Saturday, and it's going to feel like it. Temperatures back in the lower 90s, and then also looking at some very warm conditions. Call it hot. 90s seems to fit that phrase. First day of autumn. Autumn begins 8:43 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday morning, so we'll be looking for some summer-like temperatures as we head into autumn. No sign of any cooler weather anytime soon. I'm really looking forward to jacket season, and also looking forward to time to brew more soups and stews and do a little bit more baking of bread at home to heat the house up and keep things warmer. But that's not happening anytime soon. Looks like things are going to continue to be on the mild side, to say the least. Okay, a couple things to update you on real quick, a couple of extracurricular activities, if you will. There's been a lot of talk these days about what NOAA does, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and a lot of folks confusingly have the idea that if we get rid of NOAA and turn it over to a private forecast agency, in which case you'd have to possibly pay twice with your tax dollars and for a forecast. If we just get rid of NOAA, we'll get rid of any mention of climate change, and therefore the problem will be solved. That's a very short-sighted attitude to have, because NOAA does a lot more than study climate change, which they do, and they should, and it's good that they do that, because we need to keep track of how we can keep our planet livable into the future. The National Weather Service is one of the agencies under NOAA, which is under the United States Department of Commerce, a cabinet-level agency, and NOAA operates the National Weather Service, the National Hurricane Center, the Storm Prediction Center, the National Marine Debris Study Program, the Digital Coast Program. There's a ton of things that NOAA does besides talking about climate change. So if you'd like to know more about this, this is a very rare opportunity. The National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, which covers 1/4 of the News 12 viewing area, they are holding an open house, which is very rare for National Weather Service offices. If you'd like to know more about this, and if you'd like to show up, again, this is northeast of Knoxville, up between there and Johnson City. It's at 5974 Commerce Boulevard in Morristown. That's going to be happening 2 Saturdays from away. It's the 28th of September at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You get to watch a weather balloon launch. You can tour the offices. You can speak with other agencies, emergency management, all sorts of other agencies that deal with the National Weather Service and depend on their information. You can meet the meteorologists and the specialists out there to find out more about how and what they do on a daily basis and why they do what they do, and learn about how the products are issued. That's a very cool thing to see about how they determine where a tornado might be, how a wildfire situation might shape up. This is a golden opportunity for you to be able to take a look inside the National Weather Service if you live in and around this area. So thanks to NOAA and the National Weather Service for putting this on. We post information about this on our social media pages under the hashtag #WhatNOAADoes. If you'd like to follow that, and if you'd like to find out more information, our website at wdef.com/weather for more information on that. Now, continuing with weather information in general, I'd like to bring this up from the American Meteorological Society, their Weather Band online weather information program, and also courtesy of the female-led storm chase group Girls Who Chase. Coming up next week, a week from yesterday, on Tuesday the 24th, it's going to be a Zoom call. It's a weather panel to where you can ask and get answers from meteorologists, specialists, all sorts of other folks, a ton of weather information and just an absolute ton of weather experience here. So if you ever thought about getting a meteorology degree, if you've ever thought about becoming a storm chaser, safely becoming a storm chaser, you should not chase storms, period, end of sentence. Don't argue with me unless you have been properly trained and know how to behave yourself. If you've ever heard of Professor Charles Chuck Doswell, he describes a lot of the people out there storm chasing as storm chasing yahoos. And that fits pretty good, I would have to say. This is a very important thing to take a look at, because if you'd like to know more, if you really want to chase storms, that's great. But you need to know what's going on before you get out there into the field and get yourself, or more importantly, somebody else behind you, in trouble because of the severe weather information out there. This could help you in a lot of locations here for right now. So this is something to really take a look at. It's a great opportunity, again, to find out more. This is, again, a great opportunity to find out just a ton about science and a ton about how things really work. This is an amazing thing. Ginger Z from ABC News, their chief meteorologist there, Elizabeth Lightman. Welcome to my friend Ann, who's just joining us here on Instagram, taking a look from way out west. I don't think my audio is quite working, so I don't think I'll be able to hear you on this, but saying hello anyway on there. Thanks to see some friendly faces online at this point in time. And if you'd like to join on either Twitch or YouTube or Instagram, you can find out more about what's going on here. Elizabeth Lightman is a forecaster from the Storm Prediction Center. Also, again, something that NOAA does well to keep you informed about severe weather. Karen Kosiba, the managing director of the Doppler on Wheels facility, and Melanie Metz, a veteran chaser and storm photographer. This will be next week, the 24th. It'll be a Zoom meeting. You're not going to be able to, again, participate with, again, just asking questions randomly. You're going to be asked to fill in the question and answer form online, and then you can send that information in. So if you'd like to know more and participate, that's next week. If you'd like the link to all of this, you can find out more at AMETSOC, AMETSOC, the American Meteorological Society. or you can find out more from Girls Who Chase if you'd like to see a little bit more about what is going on out that direction. So again, if you have any questions, that's a very good place to go on information like that. All right, a little bit more extracurricular activities here. We do a weather poll on our page every single day. Well, I say weather, but it's about science, it's about the climate, it's about conservation, it's about all sorts of things like that. So we kind of wander around on a various amount of topics. So thanks to friendandroofing.com for being our sponsor on here. Question of the day: smokers consume about 5.5 trillion cigarettes per year, about 375 billion, give or take a million, in the United States per year. How long does it take that filter to actually decompose? A year, 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years? Well, 33% of you, we had a two-way tie with 5 and 20 years. Actually, it takes up to 10 years for that cigarette filter to finally degrade and fall apart, and there's a whole bunch of different chemicals in there that are not good for the environment, and a lot of those wind up in our waterways and in various other locations. So a good opportunity to help keep things clean. If again you are a smoker, especially at wildfire season around here, keep those cigarette butts in the car, dispose of them properly, because one cigarette butt tossed out the window at the wrong time in the wrong location could set up a very big wildfire situation. So just keep that in mind. If you'd like to vote in our polls, we have news polls, weather and sports polls. Go to wdef.com/weather for more details, and we'd love to have you on there to give your opinion on that, again, for our friendandroofing.com weather poll of the day. All right, what haven't I done here for tonight? Being host, cameraman, and everything else, kind of trying to keep track of everything gets a little bit distracting at times here. So I think we are just about done. Okay, one more thing here, if I'm right. Okay, yes. If you're in the area, this is very big news, because the weather was not good this last Saturday for International Observe the Moon Night, and the local Barnard Astronomical Society was going to be holding a star party to observe the moon this last Saturday. Well, again, the clouds and the rain did a good job of messing up on that, so they have rescheduled International Observe the Moon Night for Saturday, October 12th, same place at Greenway Farm and on Gan Store Road in Hickson, Tennessee, Saturday, October 12th, 2024. If you'd like to know more about this and to keep up, they will let you know if the weather is not conducive to watching the stars that night. So you can find out more on their website at barnardastronomy.org to find out more details about that. And thanks a lot to the folks at the Barnard Astronomical Society for putting these meetings on to give people a better idea as to what's going on when it comes to anything involving astronomy, which is such a cool science if you've not gotten involved in it and have the opportunity to do so. So a good opportunity to, again, take a look there and see what's going on through the telescopes. All right, 3 days and change until we get to the next season. Again, starts on Sunday. Looking forward to it. I just wish we had some slightly less hot weather across the area, so we are kind of stuck with the hot weather here for a while. Not much good news where that is concerned in the extended forecast, but hopefully we'll get something in here that involves slightly cooler weather at some point in time. So, all right, I think that's it for tonight. We're going to go ahead and send it back to your regular Wednesday evening. We've been on for about our regular period of time, about 20, 30 minutes or so. We try to be on Monday through Friday evenings at about the same time, about 9:45 Eastern time. So if you'd like to join us, or if you'd like to see the repeat of what you just saw in total, we post that again to our website, wdef.com/weather. You can reach me at aonic@wdef.com if you'd like to ask any questions about things. We'll be glad to do what we can to get information on there. I'll have more details on the forecast tonight on News 12 at 11. You can also get that online at wdef.com. Also, we'll have Chip Chapman coming up tomorrow morning on the morning show that starts at 5 a.m. Eastern. And, of course, I'll have more on News 12 tomorrow night to keep you updated as to what's going on. So hopefully everybody was able to hear me tonight. Audio has been kind of wonky lately with a few problems, but this is our inaugural, hopefully not the last, Instagram edition that we're doing. We'll see how well things go. So everybody on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram, thank you very much for joining us for Wednesday night, peak of the week, the 18th of September. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thanks to my friends and everybody joining us on Instagram for a quick check-in here. And I'll have more tonight on News 12 and tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Have a safe night tonight, and we'll see you again coming up on Thursday.